Hi, I'm Crystal. It's the beginning of the year, and so like a lot of people, I'm looking around and trying to clean out, clean up, make a fresh start in the new year. And this week I was looking at partially complete projects and trying to think about how I could use those in some way. So what I have in the way of partially complete projects is mostly unloved card fronts. I hope I'm not the only one who does this, but I have a bunch of these where, I stamped a bunch of them, or I started watercoloring, I didn't like how it was turning out, or I finished the card front, or it was a project I took to Stampin' Club and I just had too many of the same thing, or, whatever. And my mother asked me to refill her supply of birthday cards. So I was looking through my stack of backgrounds and partially complete cards to decide if I could finish any of these off to make nice birthday cards for my mother. And some of these partially complete projects I've rejected not once, not twice, but 10 times or 12 times. And at some point, it's time to let them go. So before throwing the entire stack into the recycle bin, I thought I would try to make it into something useful. My husband has a birthday coming up, and so I thought I would make these into a fun tag flip. So kind of like a giant birthday card / mini album. I'm cutting all these unloved card fronts into tag shapes. I'm going to print out a bunch of photos on plain paper, contact sheet size, and just put some fun memories on the back of the tags. I think that will make a good use of these unloved partial projects. And if I don't choose it for this project, now it's time to really go. So I just flipped through and tried not to use too many of the same thing, and tried not to use all flowers or anything like that, since I'm talking about my husband here. But just picked out some card fronts and chose a couple of them to make into birthday cards for my mom, so I did accomplish my original goal as well. But I got out all of my tag dies and used all of them, but of course you could also cut that shape with scissors. No requirement that it be card fronts either. You can use any partial project for this, I think. And then I got out some little bits and pieces that I thought might make some fun additions to the tags. So I've got these little bags that came with various things. I think I'm going to tuck a small present into one of them. And then I just kind of looked over my tags to see what might need some paper flowers and what might need some ribbon or trim, and what could use some kind of bling, or what could use some more stamping or some more die cutting. So after I kind of flipped through all of my little bits and pieces and attached some additional decoration and chose what I wanted to do, I ended up with, I think, a pretty nice tag flip. I did start out the very first tag with his name, and we get a lot of questions about this. I think a lot of people see Bev and they think it's a woman's name, and that's true today, but back in the early part of the 20th century, it was considered a man's name, and my husband is named for his father. He's a second, so that's what the 2 is for. So we get a lot of mail addressed to Ben and Beth, and one time somebody thought Bev was a misspelling of Rev for Reverend. That's hilarious. But that's his name. It's unusual, but that's his name. So let's take a look at that finished tag flip. Okay, I started out with a little bit of a dangle with some ribbon and trim with a little bit of beads and charms attached. I just thought that was fun. I do need a better ring to put this on, so if you guys have a suggestion for about the best kind of ring to put this on, I am open. So I started out with his name, and then I just stacked up the tags in this tag flip, and I hot glued or otherwise attached my decorations and put my little photos on the back so I can add some journaling about the memories those photos represent. I've got plenty of room to do that with all these tags. And one tip I have for the ribbon is a lot of ribbon is made of polyester. So if your ribbon is fraying on the edge of something, if you use your heat tool, just for a couple of seconds, you can kind of melt the end of the ribbon and it won't fray. So I've found that to be very helpful, particularly when you've got something with a scalloped edge like that. I had some leftover die-cut happy birthdays, so I added those in a couple of spots. And I just thought that this ended up being kind of a fun giant birthday card. and I hope that he will enjoy it as well. I am going to attach one of the little bags to tuck a small gift into, but don't worry, I'll give him a larger gift as well. But I did attach some flowers or trim in a bunch of places, as well as those celebratory happy birthday messages. And I just thought this was a good use, better than these things sitting in my partial project box and just being picked through over and over again. So I hope that you'll find that inspirational to pick through your partial projects at some point and make some use of them, whether it's to finish them off into cards, incorporate them into your junk journals, or make a tag flip. So thanks for joining me today.